Okay, so this is question number 1. What is the surface area? So on your test, I highly recommend that you highlight what the question is asking for as soon as you read it. What is the surface area of a tent that has the shape of a triangular prism? So I see surface area, so I'm going to highlight that. After you highlight, what I recommend you to do next is to write your formula for that. So I know surface area of a tent is PH plus 2B. So that way you have a start of what it is that you're looking for. Okay. All right. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and highlight our bases that we're going to use. The base of this shape, this prism, is the triangles. So we'll highlight that red. So tomorrow you'll have the pink highlighters. You can highlight it pink. Okay. And then we're going to highlight the height of the prism, which is 4. And you'll have the green highlighters tomorrow for that also. Okay, so what I recommend you to do now is to draw a triangle that you can use as reference for finding the perimeter of that base, so the perimeter of the triangles, and also the area of the triangles. So we'll draw that out. I'm going to draw it in black. It's going to look like so. We have this measurement is 3, and I got that from here. Okay, so see the 3 there? I just redraw it here. Now I need to know what this measurement is here and then this side length measurement here. It doesn't have it on my triangle right there or here, but I can look on the other triangle that's on the back side and see that this 3 is pointing to this side length and also the other one. Okay, so this really is an equilateral triangle. All the measurements are going to be 3. So see how it's across from each other? Okay, those are the same units. So we'll write 3 here and 3 there. Okay, so then for perimeter of the base, okay, so when I add up my sides of the triangle, I'm just adding up those. I still have that one that's in the middle, but I'm not going to use that for perimeter of the base because that's not any of the outside sides of that triangle. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 gives me 9. Whoops, let me write that. Okay, so now I need the height. Okay, I can go ahead, well, let's just do I like to do the perimeter of the base next. Perimeter of the base. Okay, so now this is where I am going to need that measurement that's inside of there. Okay, and that measurement that's inside, when I look at my formula, is the 2. So that's what goes there. Not inside my formula, inside the shape. So now remember, area of the base is 1/2 area of the base of this triangle. So area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So that means 1/2 times 2 times 3. Now I use those two measurements. I'm going to highlight those in red for you. So I use those two measurements because they are the two measurements that are touching the right angle. So you see the right angle that I have here? So I'm going to use this 2 and then the 3. So yeah, I mean, even though the other 2 sides are 3, okay, in this case it just happens to work that way, but in other cases it's not. So if you want to highlight those 2 sides, those are the 2 that we're going to do. So we would say 2 times 3, and then divide that by 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is going to be 3. And then the height of my prism, which I already did in green, is 4. So now, once I have that, we can go ahead and write it into our formula. 9 times the height, which is 4, plus 2 times the area of the base, which is 3. Let's put that into our calculator. 9 times 4 plus 2 times 3. We're going to get a surface area of 42 yards squared. There we go. Okay. Okay, question number 2. Chocolate candy is packaged in a container shaped like the one pictured below. And the question asks, what is the surface area of the container? So again, we're going to highlight that question, what it's asking for. It's asking for surface area. I know it's a triangular prism, so we can go ahead and write our formula out. Okay, so surface area of a triangular prism, BH plus 2B. All right, let's go ahead and we'll highlight the shape of the triangle, which is my base. I know that the height is 4, so we'll highlight that in green. All right, so we need the perimeter of the base, the area of the base, and then the height. Well, we already know the height is 4, so we can go ahead and fill that in. All right, so now let's redraw that triangle for reference, okay, for us. Looks like this. Make it a little bit bigger. I know that this is 2. And you see these little lines that are right here? I want to point at it. You see these lines? Okay, and that one right there? That means that all these sides are the same. So they're all the same as this one. So if this is 2, then these are both 2. So I can put 2 here and 2 here. Okay, so I'm going to stop there because all I need to do is add up the size of this. So I'm going to add up 2 plus 2 plus 2 to give me the perimeter of the base. So that is 6. So now the area of the base. So what I'm going to need for area of the base is I'm going to need how tall is this triangle. Okay, so I need to know like from here to the bottom to here to the top. And I can see that from this line and then the right angle there. This is pointing to that, so that means that this is 1.7. So we can draw that in here. There's my right angle. And then we said that that's 1.7. So we put that there. Like so. All right. So again, I mean, you can see how tall that triangle is. And we can also highlight. Remember, I said we're going to highlight where this right angle is. What 2 lines touch that? What 2 lines make it? This one and that one. So if you have to do that tomorrow, then yeah, certainly do it. This line, that line. So you see those 2 measurements. So we're going to say 2 times 1.7 and then divide that by 2. Let's do that in the calculator. 2 times 1.7 divided by 2. I'm going to get 1.7. So area of the base is 1.7. Now we can go ahead and put it into our formula. 6 times 4 plus 2 times 1.7. 6 times 4 plus 2 times 1.7. That's what you'll get. 27.4 inches squared. Okay. Hopefully this is getting easier for you. Let's see how we do on the next one. Try the next one by yourself and then see if you get it right. I'll do it too here in a second. So you can pause it, try the next one, see if you can get it on your own. Okay, so number 3. Damien is making a tent with the dimensions shown in the diagram. What is the minimum amount of fabric he will need to create the tent if all 5 faces will be made of fabric? So this one really doesn't tell us what we're looking for. Like, it doesn't directly tell you, hey, you're finding surface area, or hey, you're finding, volume or lateral. So you just kind of have to read the question, and you're going to have to kind of decide and make a decision. So if he's covering this whole tent and then wants to know the minimum amount of fabric to create the tent, so that means like all of the faces, all 5 of the faces, So that whole thing, this is going to be total surface area, and it's a triangular prism, so we know that this is total surface area. So total surface area. All right. And we've done that on the past, couple ones. So total surface area, pH plus 2b. We need the perimeter of the base, area of the base, and then the height. So let's go ahead and we'll highlight what we got going on. I know that this is going to be my base, is the triangles. So we can highlight in there, like so. Then we can highlight the height that we know is 10, like that. And since we put that, we can go ahead and fill that in for the height of the prism. 10 goes there. All right. So like I said, if you need to draw this out on the side, we can draw it out. We'll make it a little bit bigger. That's like so. I know that this is 6.5. And I got that from here. Okay. I know that this bottom part down here is 5. 5 like that. Now I just kind of need to know, well, what is this side length right here? Okay. So if this is a 10, I mean, you know that these are going to be the same. All right. It's not going to be off different lengths. Okay. This is going to be the same here as that. So 6.5 would go on the other side. There we go. So now we can find our perimeter of the base. Just add those up. 6.5 plus 6.5 plus 5. We get 18. And now the area of the base. So I need to know how tall this 10 is. Okay, so again, we need to know like how tall would it be from the bottom to the very top point right here. So it's not drawn in there, but if you look over here on this side, it is drawn here. So that is the same. So this is saying that this is 6 feet. Okay, so we can draw that in. We like, there's my right angle. Okay, and we know that that measurement is 6 feet. There we go. So we're just going to do 6 times 5. And then divide that by 2. Okay, so 6 times 5 is 30. 30 divided by 2 is going to be 15. There we go. Now we have all 3 things that we need for our formula. So let's just go ahead and put it in. 18 times 10 plus 2 times 15. You're going to get 210, and that's feet squared. Yeah, so see, there we go right there. Minimum amount. Okay, number 4 says that Brittany is going to cover a Pringles can and decorate it for Easter. The can has a diameter of 4.5 inches and a height of 14 inches. What is the minimum amount of paper needed? So again, just like the last question, this doesn't tell us, oh, hey, you need to find, this is a cylinder or a triangular prism. Doesn't give us a picture. But we do know that a Pringles can, okay, the Pringles can is shaped like a cylinder. All right, so she's going to decorate it for Easter. So if you have to, then yes, certainly draw a picture if needed. Okay, so let's just go ahead. We'll make this the best we can. There it is. That's a pretty good Pringles can. We know that the height is 14 inches, so we'll label that 14. We know that the diameter is 4.5, and that goes all the way across. That's 4.5. I'll put that there. Oops. There we go. But on your test, so this is important because we need she's gonna cover it. So that's surface area. All right. So we need the surface area of this cylinder. And we're going to cover the whole thing. So it's total surface area. Okay, SA for surface area. So surface area of a cylinder, it's important that you have the correct formula for that. And for that is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. Okay, so now if you look here and here, we need the radius. Okay, so on everything on your test tomorrow, find the radius. Make sure you do that first. Okay, here, this is not the radius, 4.5. It goes all the way across. Its diameter, and it even tells us right here, diameter of 4.5. So if you're given the diameter, one of the first things you should do after writing the formula is to get the radius. So you have to divide that by 2. Okay, so I'm going to do that. 4.5 divided by 2. We get 2.25. So let's write that out. Okay, R equals 2.25. There we go. And I put it really big right there, okay? So there's my radius. So now you have those two things. Okay, we know that that's the height is 14, and we can start filling in our formula. So we have 2 times pi, which is 3.14, times the radius, 2.25. I hope I don't run out of room. This is going to be a lot of numbers, but it's okay. 14 plus 2, 3.14, and I might run out of room. I'm just going to move it over a little bit. Times the radius squared, 2.25 squared. There we go. Make it a little smaller. There we go. Now it's all in there. Okay. So yes, I know that's a lot of numbers to write. Write it out on your test tomorrow. That way we can see if you messed up somewhere, you put the wrong answer, but you did have everything right written down. We can work with something on that. Okay. So let's go ahead. 2 times 3.14 times 2.25 times 14 plus 2 times 3.14 times 2.25 squared. Enter. We'll just kind of do this to the nearest hundredth or so. So we're going to get a surface area of 229.61. And this is in inches, so inches squared. All right, there we go. Okay, number 5. A label wraps around a soup can with a radius of 4.3 centimeters and a height of 6 centimeters. What is the approximate area of the label? Again, it doesn't tell us exactly what it is, but we know that a soup can is a cylinder. All right. Now, we can draw the cylinder. Let's draw that. Okay. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. The height is 6. You know what? I'm going to do this in like this. Okay. Height H equals 6. There we go. And now this line, it tells us that the radius is 4.3. Okay, good. So it already gives us the radius. And that is R equals 4.3. Right there. So we don't even have to divide it, okay? Remember, that's one of the things I said to go ahead and do. Find out if you have to divide that diameter. We don't. It already gives us the radius. So we can just go ahead and... Now, let's go back and see. Are we looking for total surface area or are we looking for lateral surface area? Approximate area of the label. It's just the label that wraps around the soup can. Okay? So the label that wraps around the soup can is just this right here. So it's not asking for the top and the bottom, just the sides. So if it is the side, then that is going to be lateral surface area. Lateral surface area. And for a cylinder, lateral surface area is just the first part of the formula, not the whole thing, just the first part, which is 2 times pi times the radius times the height. Okay, so 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 4.3, times the height, which is 6. Okay, so let's put that, see what we get. Huh. 2 times 3.14 times 4.3 times 6. We get about 162.02. This is in centimeters, so that's centimeters squared. Getting easier. All right. Okay, number 6. Nancy made a cylindrical jewelry holder for her dresser. She covered one base and the side with silver paper. If the holder was 12 centimeters tall and 14 centimeters wide, about how much silver paper did Nancy use? So we're going to use 3 for pi, okay? Or pi for 3. So this is important because here in the first part, it says covered one, I was going to highlight it. Covered one base, okay? So that's important for me, all right, in this type of question. Now, on our test tomorrow, we're not going to have any questions where it just says one base, okay? So we're going to use the total surface area of a cylinder, but we're going to alter the second part of the formula just a little bit, okay? So total surface area is going to be 2. Oh my gosh, hold on. There we go. 2 pi r h. Now plus. Now, this is why I said we're going to mess with this, alter the second part of the formula a little bit. Usually it's 2 pi r squared. But since we're only covering one base, which it says there, we're going to take this 2, and we're not doing 2 bases, we're just going to have 1. So you don't even have to put the 1 there, but we can just do that. So we're just going to have plus 1 pi r squared, because that's just one base. I'll kind of put an arrow like that. There we go. All right, so now I need the radius. If I look here, okay, 14 is the diameter, so that's important. Let's divide that by 2. 14 divided by 2, the radius is going to be 7. All right, so now we can fill in to our formula. Zoom in some. We got 2 times 3.14 times 7 times the height, which is 12, plus 1 times, oh, sorry, we're going to use 3, times 3 times 7 squared. So we got to go back, and I'm going to take this out, because it said to use 3 for pi. There you go. All right. All right, there we go. So let me zoom out some for you, okay? So let's do that. 2 times 3 times 7 times 12 plus 1 times 3 times 7 squared. I get 651. And this is centimeters, so centimeters squared. All right. Like I said, there's not going to be any on the test tomorrow where it just says like covered one base, so don't worry about that. Okay, number 8 says that a child's building block is pictured below. what is the total surface area? So this is easy. It's total surface area. It's a rectangular prism. Okay. So I do know that total surface area tells me right there. Let's write a formula. We know it's pH plus 2b. Okay. So we need the perimeter of the base, the area of the base, and then the height. So let's color or highlight in our bases. Okay, I want to use we'll use the side one. Okay. So you see how it's 1/2. Okay, I'm going to change that 1/2 to 0.5. 0.5. Like so. There we go. So we'll use the decimal of that. And now let's just kind of draw. So if I have that as my base, I know that the distance between the two is my height. So I can go ahead and fill in my height there. 2.5. So equals 2.5. All right. Let's draw out our base for a reference. Here we go. All right, I know that this is 1. There. And then I have 0.5 here. So we'll go ahead and we'll just kind of all around 1. I know that goes here. And then 0.5 is the other last side of this rectangle. There we go. All right, so perimeter, we're just going to add up all those sides. Find the perimeter. So we got 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 1 plus 1 gives me 3. Perimeter of 3. Now the area of the base is 1 times 0.5. 1 times 0.5. We get 0.5 there. Now we can go ahead and fill in our formula. 3 times 0.5. No, not times 0.5, sorry. 3 times the height, which is 2.5. Plus 2 times the area, which is 0.5. So 3 times 2.5 plus 2 times 0.5. We're going to get a total surface area of 8.5. This is inches, so inches squared. If you use a different base, if you use that base that's facing us, that's okay. If you did it correctly, you're still going to get the same answer. All right, there we go, rectangular prisms. All right, last one of the review, okay, number 9. What is the total surface area? All right, so good. So total surface area, it's a rectangular prism. So let's write our formula. pH plus 2b. Okay, so let's shade in the base that we're going to use. Let's shade in this front side one right here. We'll use that as the base. Okay, so we got that one and then the one behind it. So the distance between that base and the other one is 2. Okay, so 2 is going to go ahead and be my height of the prism, which is 2. So we need to find perimeter and the area of the base. So let's draw out our reference that we had. Let's draw a rectangle here. Okay, I know this is 5. This is 3, 5, and 3. Good, so we can just add them up. 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 will give me 16. Area of the base is just 5 times 3, so I know that's 15. And let's go ahead and fill it in. 16 times 2 plus 2 times 15. Okay, you're going to get 62 centimeters squared. Okay, so I hope this helps you. Okay, study this, watch it over and over if you need to. Like if you just need to look really focus on the triangular prisms because you do really good on the cylinders and rectangular prisms, then go ahead and do that. Okay, but I just suggest you to watch this and write these out. Do this as many times as you need until you're comfortable with this for our test tomorrow. Okay, all right. Have a good night. Happy Valentine's Day.